everyone, and welcome to Revival League Season 2 Premier League Round 1. My name is Retro, and this is the beginning of Revival League Season 2. So if you've been here in the streams for the past couple of weeks, those were all either open qualifiers or closed qualifiers, and they basically determined which teams would be going into Alpha League, which teams would be going into the Premier League that we're currently going to be watching. And it all has been very, very exciting. It was very exciting between these two teams as well. We've seen them play against each other before. We've also seen them play against a plethora of other teams before. And it's going to be a very, very exciting matchup because not only is it Guardians, Alpha, and 5STARS who have been very, very, very good throughout all of the qualifiers. 5STARS, the first place team in the qualifiers. Guardians just a little bit further behind, all the way down in 6th. Not only is that what makes this exciting, or the fact that we are playing our first match on Theme Park. We've had a little bit throughout the qualifiers, although none of it was on stream, so it's going to be, new sites. But it's also the fact that this is a best of 2, meaning that this is not going to be the only map that we will be seeing. We will be seeing another map coming up after this, which will be Villa. And everything is just going to be so exciting. I'm very, very excited for the fact that this is the start of the new season. There's going to be 7 weeks of playtime. We're going to see Premier League. We're going to see Champions League. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of Alpha League. It just might happen so. But this is Premier League Round 1. And here we go. The theme park match is a go. It's going to be a pretty good one. We've had the map. We've had the operator bands come out. It was Maverick and Solus coming out from Guardians, followed by Dokebi and Mira coming out from 5STARS. Now, of course, the Maverick can make it very, very difficult for the defenders to defend sites, specifically this bottom site that we see here right now. The Maverick can make his way inside of those walls pretty quickly. Here, it's very crucial that you keep those walls closed for as long as possible. And typically, the way that you do that, whether it's below or upstairs, wherever, is by bandit tricking or by having a bandit, just bandit batteries or Cade Claws somewhere out there. And it's a very, very interesting setup that we saw there from Guardians. You saw that they put 2 shields upstairs. They have Damien with the smoke and Chaos with the echo, both putting their shields upstairs, forcing 5STARS to take them head on upstairs first before they can even think about attacking the bottom floor site, which of course is one of the most difficult sites to attack. And Theme Park itself is one of the most difficult maps to attack. It is 60% defender sided so far in this season. Of course, that's only counting the couple matches that we saw it on in the qualifiers. But even last season, it was around that 50 to 60% mark for the defense site win, so it's going to be very, very difficult. Here we go, Selberg using one of these grenades to try and maybe take out that shield, but gets taken down by Panda before he can do that. That grenade undershoots the shield because of that, because of course it just fell out of his hand rather than being thrown, and this shield will be staying in place. Of course, you saw all 3 of those ADSs were placed on the top yellow shield that we currently see Damien playing behind. Panda is protecting himself with his Wamai magnets. Of course, he can keep throwing those up for as long as he's alive, and as we reach the halfway point through the round, 5STARS are slowing down a little bit as they're still unable to really find an in. They do finally take out that shield and force Panda out of that position, but Breathtaking and Panda both still challenging onto these players. And interestingly, we do see that only Gemis is on the bottom floor, as Chaos is there as well. We did see Damien before playing on that shield on top yellow, and Panda with the Pixel Peak takes out Rush, drops away down through the hatch. Zafin taking so much damage from a very far and away angle, manages to pick up the kill into Chaos. That's the echo off the board. Damien being forced off of his position on that shield and goes down as well to Keppa. Gemis now no longer the only player inside of sight, but Panda is in such low HP that he might as well be. Breathtaking still trying to hold on upstairs as that wall gets opened up from maintenance. This is good pacing now from 5STARS, even though they did slow down a little bit halfway through the round. They made themselves an opening by getting those 2 kills. They were crucial for their current attack. And now with that wall open, Reaper's just waiting for somebody to give the call about whether he's clear to push in or not. Of course, they need the vertical control, and they just don't have it. They thought they did, but Breathtache was there. Kappa pushes into sight. Reaperance does as well. They take out the only 2 players on site, and Breathtache now having to retake with the plant going down. 10 seconds to go. That plant will go down. Breathtache has information, takes down 1. It's a 1 versus 1 for Keppa. He's in a prone position. He knows exactly where he's going to be behind that throne. Breathtache could even be trying to go for a sneaky defuse here behind the throne. Does Keppa know? He has to hear him. He does. Flashes go out. Breathtache is sticking it. Is Keppa going to be on time? He won't! Oh my goodness, Breathtache! Pros don't fake. He gets it despite being full flash there at the end. Keppa, unfortunately, was just a little bit too slow, a little bit too late. Breathtache won that round when it really shouldn't have been theirs. I mean, he basically managed to salvage what they'd already set up right at the beginning. Getting those first 2 opening kills was absolutely crucial to this round's success, and it really was looking like it was going to be their round through and through. But then 5STARS came back. They took 2 kills of their own, equalized the score count, or the man count rather, pushed straight into sight, killed the only people there, went for the plant, and then forced Breathtache into this 1 versus 2 situation, which he masterfully won, and allowed Guardians to pick up the first round on a very defensive-sided map from a not very defender-sided round, I will have to say. But now they are going all the way down into labs and drugs, or labs and storage. I'm not really sure what it's called, officially, but most teams do recognize it as labs and drugs. And this is another site where verticality is absolutely crucial. Both of the bottom floor sites are absolutely detrimental, or the top floor control is absolutely detrimental to any defense or to any attack. You absolutely need to have it. It's very, very difficult to try and win a round on defense on a bottom floor site on Theme Park without that vertical control, and they're setting it up quite a bit, as they even not only are setting it up all the way inside of Cafe, which is of course the room right above the site, but they are doing quite a far extension all the way into Initiation, which is of course going to slow the attackers down even more. Player hiding inside of the vault could be getting explosive, but no, they're too clever for that. They get those drones in, they spot him out, they know exactly where he is. Another drone chancing to get shot, but Breathtache now moves up close to the door, and this is the problem when you let your drone get shot, or when your drone gets shot and you think, okay, well, the player is going to be there, or he's going to be near around the vault. That could catch you off guard, as no one's really expecting him to be there. But Selberg below could be trying to go for a head-on push, especially as the Nook. We see her banned quite often so far in the qualifiers, and I'm sure that we're going to see her only get banned more and more throughout the season in all of the leagues, just because of exactly this. She could just be sitting there at the bottom of yellow stairs, staring straight at a camera, and never have to shoot it or never have to think about it. Breathtache taking his first victim from close up on that door. This is exactly what I was talking about. He could be getting a kill here, and he does, as they thought they droned it, or they did drone it rather, but it wasn't good enough, or they didn't have a follow-up drone come in there as well to find out if he maybe relocated or where he relocated to, as of course he would. Selberg now having to try and find a kill of his own to hopefully equalize the man count, or maybe just put a little bit of pressure on the players playing near and around throne room. He pushes into the split room, but he looks up the hatch instead. Chaos takes him out. Damien on the other side of the map takes out Keppa with that MP5K. Reaperance tried to clear some of this utility to try and maybe get a push here onto the shield. Damien getting a little bit too aggressive, shut down by Zephin. But Zephin is now in a very low HP, and Breathtache is still chilling inside of that vault because he knows he doesn't have to move. He peeks the wall, however, and Zephin is there to pick up the pieces. Reaperance taking a lot of damage. C4 goes up from below, doesn't take anybody. Zephin, however, does take Panda in the meantime. That camera will be spotting out the attackers. They're trying to still make a push for side gem. It's taking a little bit of damage as well from those fuse charges that are raining down from above. still have 2 of those breach charges as well in the pocket of Zep, and they could still do a little bit of vertical damage as Reaperance is now closer to sight than they are aware of. Chaos having to relocate again. They know exactly where he is, but he's the one that gets the kill, and it's Gemis from the other side that takes the kill, takes down Reaperance, and another round goes to Guardians. I mean, this is just a perfect example of how absolutely defender-sided theme park can be and is. Guardians are a team that are very, very well known for attacking, so I do worry a little bit for 5 stars when they get down to their defensive path, because of course it is the first defensive path does go to Guardians at the moment. So they, of course, have the advantage of picking up those easy, quote-unquote, rounds from just the fact that they are defending. They are defending a very defender-sided map, which, how many times can you say the word defender in one sentence? I don't know, count me out. But it's a very, very defender-sided map. Starting on the defense gives you a massive, massive advantage just because you don't have to think that much. You don't have to really try that hard. Although 5 stars did get quite close to winning both of those rounds. They brought it down to a 2v2 that previous round, got a little bit unlucky with the lack of information and the lack of positioning. They just weren't able to push on into sight, as it's very horizontal at that point without them having any vertical controls set up whatsoever. Lack of a buck or a sledge to help push those defenders from their position, or maybe if Reaperance had been closer to sight when those fuse charges were raining down, maybe it would have helped them a little bit. And of course, it came down to a post-plan situation in the first round, so 5 stars are definitely not going down without a fight, but it is just the nature of the map that is hurting them. And as I said, Guardians are very, very good at attacking, even onto defender-sided maps and defender-sided sites. They are almost undefeated on their attacks on Oregon, which is another very defender-sided map, so I do worry for 5 stars if they're, if they go down in a very big deficit here, they could be hurting themselves. But finally, they get the first pick. Selberg taking out Gemis. A little bit of an unimpactful kill at the moment. It's not a very high value kill. It's not like an Echo or a Smoke or even the Wamai going down, but it is a man advantage that they gain. Rush getting a little bit overzealous there on that hallway, nearly getting taken down as well, but he manages to see another day. Breathtaking, holding them off with those smoke babes. Damien getting blinded a little bit by those flashes that are going past the defenses of his Wamai magnets and those ADSs as well from Panda. Breathtaking again in this position, close up on the door, could again be going strong, but this time they're a little bit more clever. They spot him out with that drone, and they force him out of that position. That shield doesn't clear, so it does give them another entry into the bomb site, but they're going to have to be careful as those Echo drones are stunning them out as well. Selberg taking a little bit of damage, Damien taking even more as he's still trying to contest against them. Breathtaking as well. It's Reaperance that will go down. Rush does straight him out. Oh, but there goes Panda going down as well, and so that the Chaos all of a sudden. 5 stars have all of the advantage that they need. I don't know if any of those Echo drones are still alive. And of course, they still don't have an into sight, and he's still trying to fight them off from inside of break room. Everybody peeking all at once. He will take down one. Can he get one, two? He gets two! Oh my goodness! But he gets taken down from inside of the arcade. Wow. That was almost really, really bad for 5 stars, because from a 1 versus 4, Chaos brought it down to a 1 versus 2, and we've seen 5 stars lose a 1 versus 2 before, or a 2 versus 1 rather. So it was really, really good close out there, good spotting of the arm sticking out for just a second, flicking onto it, taking care of the kill, and taking down a very, very crucial player there who really could have ruined it all for them. But now, as they lost that one site, the first round the Guardians lost was in fact their tertiary site pick. So they're now going to have free range to go back downstairs. Of course, we saw them have a pretty extensive setup upstairs coming out those 2 shields, ADSs, and my Magnus denying any sort of utility from getting past, wasting as much time as humanly possible, all the while keeping only 1 player on site, which is, if that's something that 5-stars read into, it could start to spell trouble for Guardians, as of course, they have the vertical control in terms of positioning, but they don't have vertical control in terms of sight lines and holes being made from above for them to be able to utilize them against them. So, should 5-stars just rush straight through Gong, push straight into sight, there are no angles the Guardians have made from upstairs to be able to deny a plank from going down or to be able to deny any sort of positions from 5-stars from playing. But of course, 5-stars will not be doing that. They will just be droning, taking their time, finding out as much information as they can about this Guardians defense. Of course, with the information that they gained already from the first round, from having to attack into this exact same defense, they're going to be a little bit wiser and a little bit more knowledgeable. Of course, Theme Park doesn't get played so often, and every time that it does, it has a very specific list of strategies that are played by either team, or by each team, really. Any team that plays this plays it completely differently to one another, which of course makes it very, very difficult to actually find any cracks in the defense, because you don't know. This is something that you're encountering for the first time, unless you scrimmed it against them, or unless you have VODs of some kind. You're unlikely to find any more information than you're going to get from just playing against them. But when they take care of that shield at halfway point through the round, they could be looking for something good here, as well as that Nook lurking from below could be trying to get a kill into Damien as well. But it's Zephyr that's taking a lot of damage. Rush goes down to Brett. Take those Echo drones again, stunning them out. Panda takes down Reaper, and Selberg will push up those yellow stairs, takes 1, but immediately traded out. A 2 versus 4 for 5-stars. Much worse numbers than they had the last time that they were playing this, or that they were attacking this site, both on very low HP, or had no more than halfway of their, or no more than half HP to deal with here, going up against fully charged defenders. It's going to be very, very difficult. One of them being, of course, the Echo, who could put another damper on their plans. Stefan here in an engagement against Panda, I believe, unable to really find anything there. That time dwindling away from them. Only 20 seconds to go. They're going to have to try and make a push for sight. Throw down an EMP to try and disable any utility that's down there. There goes the swing, and unfortunately they're not able to find anything. It's Gemmas from inside a split with the swing, or the counter swing rather. Guardians put themselves up 3-1. 5-stars now definitely losing the half, or at the very least definitely will be putting themselves at bare minimum, or not really the bare minimum, but at, the maximum. They will be evening the split on the first half, which of course, on Theme Park, getting any amount of rounds on your attacking half is good, but you want to get at least 2. You want to have the breathing room of 2 rounds on your defensive half, especially when you're going up against a team that is very, very good at attacking. Guardians are terrifying on their attacks, and 5-stars going into their defensive half is definitely not something to sniff at. It's definitely not something for them to be, oh, we're playing Theme Park. It's defender-sided. It's 60%, I apologize, 60% defender-sided. We've got this in the bag. They made a mistake by going on defense first, because now we're the ones that have it in the bag. That's not really the mentality the 5-stars should be going into their defensive half with, as of course, Guardians are very, very good at attacking, and nothing is over before it's over. Guardians back on Labs and Drugs. They played it before. Run it down to a 2v2, or 5-stars rather managed to bring it down to a 2v2 after a little bit of, a few of those players got a little bit too aggressive. Brett was playing close up on this door, got a kill from there. 5STARS weren't expecting it. They are expecting it now, or at least I hope they are. They were expecting it the previous round. I don't know if that expectation stands for them. There was a little bit of a cheeky run-out attempt there from Breathtaking as well. As you can see, that door broken down, or halfway broken down. And, you can tell from the HP damage that he took, of course, was from that. Didn't gain anything for either team. Rush getting stuck here inside of those concussion mines, which of course done his vision a little bit, make him a little bit uncomfortable to take a gunfight. Panda here alongside Breathtaking on that Malusi, who's been nerfed into the ground a little bit. Now 1 speed, a lot harder to actually play her. Kappa very brilliantly baiting out that concussion mine. Running in and running back out is, of course, he's aware there's going to be a concussion mine there. Rush holding onto an angle, trying to see if anybody's going to come up those dragon stairs. Reprints here on the break window could be trying to do a little bit of damage as well from inside of there. Selberg taking damage. I'm not really sure where from. I think he impacted himself, actually, as he tried to get an entry from inside the barrels. Look at that time. They've wasted 2 minutes, and they haven't really gained any control, especially as Damien takes down Keppa. They're going to have even less control. Damien, of course, on lower HP could be going down here, especially as they've now getting pinched. 1 player pushing from Cafe. 1 player still trying to challenge from inside the bathroom. Reaper is taking down Panda. That's good. Free frag. But again, that time, they still haven't got much control. And as we see, the Wamai will be pushing up for Damien actually drops down. Will be getting taken down. Selberg unfortunately can't quite get the finisher. They're shooting him through the wall as well. He's trying to find that finisher. Breathtaking trying to go for a flank up those dragon stairs. 5STARS finally take the man count in there, control those fuse charges as well, raining down on the site again. Selberg taking down Chaos. It's all down to Gemis, who's in sight. Breathtaking again are still on that flank. Gemis whiffs just a little bit on the player. They're flooding sight now. Selberg on ever so low HP, still somehow not dead. Selberg finally taking down Gemis, and it's all down to Breathtaking. A 1 versus 4. That time is down and out. The plant will go down.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
He's gonna have to try and force his way into the site, but it's Rush from all the way at the end of the hallway. Breathtaking does find 1, but is unable to find any more than that. 5STARS take another round for themselves. Close that deficit by just a little bit. And now they could be putting themselves onto a pretty good start to their defensive half. Of course, it's not going to be all roses and rainbows. Because as I keep saying, and you might think, bias or something like that, but no, it's just the Guardians are very, very good at attacking on defender-sided maps. We've seen it time and time again, where against all odds, they win their attacking sides or their attacking rounds. And it could be something that happens here again, here on Theme Park. But of course, we don't know, as we haven't seen them on this map before. So it's really, really tough to tell where this will go. But it could seriously start to become an issue for 5STARS if they go into it thinking that they've got this in the bag because they are on the defensive path. Mainly my point is to not underestimate your opponent
10 seconds left.
just because of the nature of the map or the side that you are playing. But nevertheless, here for the last time, Guardians, or potentially the last time, there could still be overtime, but of course that's far and away. But for the last time in this half anyway, Guardians will be trying to defend the site of dorms and daycare, which the last time that they played it, it was all 5STARS until the very end, when it was Chaos. They managed to bring a 1 versus 4 to a 1 versus 2, and it could have been even worse if they weren't able to spot him in the position that he was in, or maybe if he was able to deny the plant with an Echo drone. But 5STARS did manage to pull a win. It was the first round that they won, and it's definitely the thing that it gave them the momentum that they needed to keep themselves in this half. Chaos getting challenged onto inside a break room. You will be shooting out those ace charges or those Selma charges as well, denying 5STARS an into the site a little bit. You're going to have to rotate away from that via the roof or via the ground. I'm not sure. I think he might as well into the roof. And now they're going to have to try and go again for this cache side attack. They tried it before. It actually worked out, but it kind of got a little bit sloppy in the end. And a lot of it came down to Guardians just getting a little bit aggressive. And they do it again this time. It works out in their favor. Panda taking down Zeph, and that's going to be a very, very crucial operator that goes down. As, of course, they have that bandit who's denying those walls from being opened up, which... with that Thatcher, was going to be ever so more difficult. That shield inside of waiting room does go down, but Breathtaking and Panda are still holding onto their positions, never ever having to move. Breathtaking still has a smoke babe in pocket as well. Again, close up on that door could be getting aggressive here. Some shots coming out from the hallway outside. Here comes the swing from Cellbreak, and he's the one that wins the gunfight against that SAS shotgun. Keppa here to boot. 50 seconds to go. Even man count. They've lost the smoke. I'm not sure how many of those Echo drones they still have in pocket, but 5STARS could be looking good here. They still have a Selma left to try and open up some of these walls, taking a lot of damage from a very far and away angle is Chaos. Panda, by now, has not retreated. Still sits pretty inside of initiation. Of course, knows he doesn't have to move. Chaos and Gemus both pick up a piece. Selberg finally with the refrag up to Chaos. Reaper is now making his way inside of control room, but Panda, as I said, still is not away from that initiation room. Damien takes down Rush, and it's Panda to finish them off again. Taking down Reaper inside of control room, putting another round on the board for Guardians, leaving them at a 2-round deficit, leaving 5STARS rather in a 2-round deficit. As we see the side switch, it's going to be a lot of work here for 5STARS, especially as we see Breathtaking picking onto that Ying. Of course, that entire lineup could still change once they see where their opponents are going, especially considering the fact that they are going to bunks and daycare, which isn't a very common primary site. Typically, you will see the throne room being that primary site. Sometimes it will be initiation office, but more often than not, it will be that throne room that will be the primary site, just because of how difficult it is to attack. We saw it from Guardians. We saw how strong that vertical play could be, and even without that vertical play, it's still so difficult to try and attack to it, because once you've done all the vertical, then it's very, very horizontal, and it's very funnely. You know, you have the split, or you have any of the walls, or you have the dragon door. You basically have to all funnel in through one angle, and there's a lot of far and away angles that could get you killed from basically any of those entries, which just makes it very, very difficult to attack, especially because by the point that you, by the time that you have the freedom to push into sight, you've already wasted so much time, and then it's all just very, very nervous for a lot of attacking teams. So it's very curious to see 5STARS actually going to bunks and daycare, and they could just be catching Guardians off guard a little bit, as they might not have expected this defense coming out from 5STARS, especially because they're not playing it really the way that we saw Guardians play it. They still have that extended hold, but it's a little bit modified. It's not quite the same thing, and it's a lot more aggressive here. Selberg's playing right here on top of these dragon stairs. C4 already gone out. What a peek and what a kill! Selberg taking out Damien. That's going to be their only hard breach, rendering Chaos effectively useless as far as his utility is concerned. As of course, Kali shines against electrification. Of course, she's still good to take down those shields as well, but of course, without that hard reach, this is going to be an ever so difficult mission for 5STARS, or for Guardians, my apologies. That is going to put a damper on their party. It's going to slow down their attack a little bit as they're having to rotate around. Another thing that's going to put a damper on their party and slow them down a little bit will be Rush with those Vulcan canisters, and will be Reprints with those smoke babes as well. Claymore's getting put down very cleverly here on those Dragon Stairs to try and deny any sort of flank from coming out from those defenders. But I think 5-stars are perfectly content just sitting here in their positions, playing their shields, forcing Guardians to come to them. They still have a minute. It's enough time to make a push happen, but of course, it's only if they actually begin doing so. Oh no, far and away angle gets Panda the DBNO, but he will not get the finisher. He will try to go for a grenade, but I think that one will be caught by my magnet somewhere along the way. It actually doesn't. It actually deals a lot of damage to Zephyr as well, who's trying to contest against those shots. Goes down as well as Zephyr picks up Panda on the other side of the map. Or actually, that was a bit of a trade. Breathtaking will take down Reprints. Zephyr will get picked up as well. Rush with a beautiful peek, and a beautiful peek again takes down 2. It's all into Breathtaking. Those smoke faves will be dealing a lot of damage, but it'll be Rush that will ultimately deal the final blow, putting the first round, or putting rather the first defensive round on the board for 5-stars, giving them a little bit more confidence, closing that gap, and putting them into a really good position to try and maybe win it in this half, win it in regulation. You never know. Everything could happen, or nothing at all. Armory and Throne Room will be their next go-to. It is the site that we most often see as the primary site. It's a little bit curious that they're choosing it as their secondary site pick, but it also could be a strategy in there as well, because they're thinking, okay, well, if we can win the slightly less defender-sided site first, close that gap, and then take them to Armory and Throne, which is very, very difficult to attack onto. If we can take them there, win it there, equalize the score count, and then we can just kind of continue winning on the tertiary side pick, whichever one that may be, whether it's going to be bunks and daycare, or whether it's going to be initiation office or labs and storage, could still be quite winnable for them, especially because 5-stars managed to do what Guardians weren't, and that is win daycare and bunks. Of course, they did win it once, but they didn't win it the first time. Guardians weren't able to pull off a win the first time that they defended that site. It gave 5-stars their first round win, and it gave 5-stars the first round win of their second half. But as we settle ourselves into this round, we can see the 5-stars have quite an extended top floor roam. And I call this a roam rather than a setup the way that I did for Guardians, is because they are playing roam heavy operators. They're playing the Mozzie, they're playing the Legion, they're playing even that Frost as well as the Oryx. First engagement here could be coming out from the Frost as well as the Iana of Damien. But if the first engagement will actually be coming out on the other side of the map as Keppa takes down Panda, and that is going to hurt. Of course, they lost their Capital. Those bolts, the smokes, all gone. I think Reapers is actually trying to bandit trick the wall. They even tried to go for a vert nade, won't be finding anything. Trick doesn't quite work for Reaper, and C4 goes out, doesn't catch anybody either. That wall is open pretty early on. And 5-stars, who are all on the roam, except for Reaper down at sight, could be in a bit of a pickle. Zephyr has made his way all the way upstairs and could be looking for a kill here from the vertical angle. Oh my goodness, if he only knew how close he was to getting a kill here onto the player playing inside of Gong. That's a player that is on drones. I don't think he can actually see him. Or he can see him now, but they can see him as well. Chaos taking a lot of damage, unable to actually pick up a kill. It's Pekka Keppa that takes the first kill though. Or takes another kill rather. Takes down Breathtaking. Damien getting down as well. Zephyr will be accredited that one. He might get accredited another. He will! Can he get accredited a third? As it's all down to Chaos with only about 30 HP points. Can't quite get the third there. Zephyr and Chaos picks up another kill with the Claymore placed on top of those Dragon Stairs undoubtedly, but it's Reaper Iron Sets MP7 that picks up the final kill of the round, putting another round on the board for 5STARS, equalizing the score count, and it could just be the one round they needed to put themselves in the lead. As they're going out to Lab and Storage, they won both of their, or they won the first two defensive rounds that they had. And it's all going to be down to whether they can win their tertiary site pick. Because, of course, if they can't, then that not only puts Guardians back in the lead, but it also lets them know that they still have a horse in this game, or in this race, rather. It still lets them know, okay, we're up 5-4. What says, or who says, that we can't just win on their primary and secondary side pick again, when they go there again, and just beat them there. So 5STARS are definitely going to have to tread carefully here, as this is probably the most crucial round of this game so far, as it will determine who will be, you know, a step closer to match point. It will determine who will be looking stronger in this game. And of course, 5STARS win it, they will put themselves in the advantage for the first time. Guardians win it, they will be putting themselves back in the advantage. Would be putting a bit of a damper here onto 5STARS. Of course, bringing that Ying plus the Fuse could be quite a deadly combo. And unlike 5STARS, are actually bringing a dedicated soft destruction or vertical destruction in that sledge, already making use of a lot of this utility, those flashbangs coming out, trying to clear out these mine magnets. He's now full blind, having to move away from that shield a little bit. Those drones coming out as well, spotting him every which way. They're able to come out, pick up that shield, force him away from that position. Damien waiting for the drones to try and find something. Breathtaking on the other side of the map, trying to make a push into Cash Room and force out any defenders playing on that side. 5STARS will get the first death as Damien picks up the kill onto Kappa, immediately traded out as Rush is there to pick up that trade. Grenades coming out, will not be finding anything here on Rush. Gem is staring him down, trying to find something. Minute 20 gone as we're reaching that halfway point through the round. Selberg pushing up these yellow stairs. Those Cadellas coming out. Rush down but not out. Could still be salvageable, but Selberg, of course, is in a bit of a pickle. He can't really cross. His utility will be denying those drones to spotting him out. Rush drops away through the hatch. It's Selberg from the yellow stairs to pick up the kill onto Panda. Rush picked up by Zephin is back on the roamer, is back to try and find something in this round, to try and find a kill. Guardians slowing down a little bit now without their Nomad to put down any air jabs, to find any lurkers or any flankers, and without their Yana to pick up the frags, of course, as the entry operator, even though currently not so much dominating kill-wise. Reapers playing instead of Sight. Zephin and Rush both together playing instead of Throne Room or thereabouts. Time dwindling down, 25 seconds to go. Gem is still trying to find something from these vertical angles. As I said, the Fuse and the Ying could be quite a deadly combo here for the attack, but with that time dwindling down, they could actually be finding something. Breathtaking finding the kill onto Zephin, immediately traded out, however, by Reprince. Reprince aware of the player already inside of sight. The plane is going down. He will be getting off of it as he knows there's not much to be found there. And oh no, he actually got downed. I thought he got off of it, but no, he got downed there by the SMG-12 of Selberg. 5STARS put themselves in the lead for the first time, put themselves a little bit further ahead, and Guardians are now having to chase after them. Of course, a team that I kept saying very, very good at attacking was not able to find a single attacking round on their attacking half, not even on the tertiary side pick of Labs and Storage, which of course doesn't really bode too well for them. 5STARS were able to find a round on their attack pretty quickly. They found it pretty quickly on that tertiary site pick of Daycare and Bunks. And they found their into the defense clause of Guardians, and they just kept it going. They found another round later on as well, and put themselves at quite a good position of being down only 2 rounds. Now, Guardians, of course, are down only 1 round at the moment, but if they put themselves in a position where they're down 2 rounds, well, 5STARS will be on match point. So Guardians are definitely looking to pick up this round to equalize the score count and not let 5STARS run away with it. Bringing back that Ying, running it back, basically the exact same lineup as before. Hopefully they don't lose their hard breach immediately this time. Of course, last time that they tried to attack this site, they lost their hard breach instantly. It was a peek from Zephin, I think, or Selberg actually, that got them the opening pick, cleared out that hard breach, and of course put a damper on their party. Panda already inside of Cafe, and Breathtaking will be finding the first kill onto Zephin. Immediately traded out. 5STARS are very, very good at getting those trades, and Selberg not only picks up 1, picks up 2. And the thing that I was saying cannot happen, happens. Selberg is on an absolute tear as he finds his 3rd. Could be even going for an ace here. Panda looks away just the wrong moment, misses the kill there, taking a lot of damage, misses him again. It's Reaper from inside of Vault that will get that kill, and it's all down to Gemis. Getting peeked from inside of Dorms will go down to the Malusi. 5STARS win the round very quickly, might I add, put themselves on match point, or not match point, but map point anyway. It's not looking good for Guardians, as they're still trying to find an attacking round. Taking a timeout now to try and find something to salvage of this game. Of course, not all hope is lost. They still have a chance to tie the match in the next map, which will be Villa. But I do have to say that 5STARS have already played on Villa and have won it. So Guardians will be going into unjust territory in the next map to try and find a round win there, or not even a round win, but a map win, if they are unable to salvage anything of this game, or of this map rather, here after this timeout, of course. They're looking to try and fix some of the mistakes that they've been making. Their pacing is a little bit off. They're quite slow, and they are not good at preserving that man advantage that they get. They were very, very good at preserving it in the first half, but they are just not able to do this now. They pick up that first kill, and then there's no one there to sort of keep an eye on the situation. There's always somebody there to bounce back onto that from 5STARS, and Guardians aren't formulated the same way. They are unable to pick up the refrag of a refrag. They are unable to pick up that kill. You know, we just saw it. You know, one player went down, they picked up the kill into Zephin, but then it was rushed to pick up one, and then picked up the second. The Guardians weren't able to take down Selberg and to deny him getting those kills, and that is definitely hurting them, as well as, of course, losing high value operators early on, being quite slow.
Attackers have discovered the
And
location of a bomb.
as you can see in the top left corner, they have lost already 2 drones, which also could be a bit of an issue if their information game isn't that good, and it might just be the problem again is Rush, unfortunately, with just a little bit, wasn't able to get the kill onto Damien, but of course, them not even being aware of a spawn B coming out of her, that even being a possibility, Damien looking at the ground, just running, could be another issue for them, and it could be one of those things that maybe their coach is trying to instill into them in that timeout, or maybe it was purely mental, as of course a lot of the times players are aware of the mistakes that they're making, and they're just, they're getting a little bit too worked up. It's like, oh, I'm making this mistake, I have to think about it, and then you think about that mistake, you make 6 others, and then you just sort of start falling apart. So it might have been just, their coach or their analyst or the IGL, whoever called the timeout, trying to pull them back down to earth. Hey, breathe. It's okay? We can definitely win this game. You just have to relax. And now, first engagement is going to be coming out. Damien, unfortunately, gets shot at the bottom of these stairs. They didn't even see Zephan be on them in that moment. He runs down, gets the first kill. Damien, unfortunate to be the opening death so often. Chaos and Gem is trying to work together to find something else here as they're trying to attack onto the throne room. Very, very difficult site to attack. Not really bringing any dedicated vertical play with a buck or a sledge, but of course, without those grenades as well, they're not going to be able to clear out any of those shields that are playing as well. They do get this wall open, which 5-Star sort of gave to them for free. Of course, this time we do not see Reprints playing that bandit, playing the Echo instead, which just might be a little bit more impactful here. Breathtaking, quite a wide swing there on the main wall. Panda just waiting for somebody to peek him. He hears Keppa at the bottom of that arcade, but it's Keppa that wins that gunfight. Guardians are falling apart. 45 seconds to go for them to try and find something here in a 3 versus 5. They do have the opening with this wall being open, but of course those Valkyrie cameras as well as those Echo drones will be denying them anything. Reprints with the swing picks up 2. It's all at the Chaos. He denies the Flawless as he picks up 1, but it's Zephan still playing on those Dragon Stairs that picks up the final kill of not just the round, but of the game. Wow, that was not good. That was not good for Guardians, a team that I kept praising for their attacks. Weren't able to find anything with those attacks. They weren't able to find a single round. They won the 4 rounds on their defensive half, which is really, really good, even on an extremely defender-sided theme park, and then they just weren't able to find anything. 5-Stars, what is that, 5-0 on their defensive half? So, no, it would be 6-0, because... No, yeah, it's 5-0, because math. Well, that concludes that game. I think, undoubtedly, Selberg has to be given the MVP just because of those flanks, those roams. Very, very good, very cool and methodical. We see it time and time again from a player like Selberg, and it's just something that has to be rewarded from time to time. But of course, season's long. There's 7 weeks of this. Everyone will get a chance to get their MVP title eventually at some point. But as I said, that does conclude this game. We'll be going, or not this game, rather, this map. We'll be going on a little bit of a break. But when we come back, it will be the same teams. So it will be Guardians, 5-Stars. They will be on Villa. And Guardians will be looking to try and tie the match in this best of 2 to hopefully not put themselves too far behind 5-Stars in the current standings. Of course, again, as I say, season's so very long, and this is only day 1, or round 1 rather. So many things can still happen. But still, Guardians are looking for a map win to put themselves into a slightly better position. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
said to me, after the things you made me feel. The night goes on and on. The night goes on and on.
Baby, I'm ballin', 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 ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin', 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 ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin', 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 ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin', 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 ballin'.
Give me the mic, I'm back, bitch.
Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin', 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 ballin'. Bring that beat back. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'. Baby, I'm ballin'.
I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece turns to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your...
Welcome back, everyone. It is Revival League Season 2, Premier League, Round 1. We are back here again with Guardians Alpha versus 5STARS. We just saw them on Theme Park. 5STARS. My apologies. Okay, I think I'm... Oh my goodness. I think I'm okay. Alright. Oh my... Wow. I don't know what happened. We just saw 5STARS take... Oh my goodness. I'll be right back. I need to have some water. Okay, there we go. We just saw 5STARS take quite a dominant win against Guardians on Theme Park. It was a 7-4 win where Guardians weren't able to win a single round on attack. And that is, you might be thinking, it's Theme. No one takes a single round of attack on Theme. Well, hate to break it to you, 5STARS did. Not only did they take a single round, they took 2 rounds. And it is actually very, very surprising that Guardians didn't manage to do that, considering that they are very, very good on attack. And it is attack that we are seeing them on here on Villa. Villa is a map that 5STARS won at a quite significant comeback way back when, in close qualifiers, I think, against War Dogs. It was looking grim. I think they were down 4-0 at that point, and then they just kept bringing it back, won at 7-5 eventually. And it was a very crazy game that was. So if you missed it, please go back and watch it. But of course, only after this game, because of course we do still have to see this one out, see how it plays out. Of course, this is another very defender-sided map. We just saw it on Theme Park. It has a 60% defender win rate. And Villa, somehow even worse than that, as far as the attacking side goes, because 67% win rate for the defense. Very, very bad numbers the Guardians are having to face up against, but of course, they are the Guardians, and they are very good at attacking. So this could just all turn around, and Guardians could start taking grounds here, but of course, they're going to have to try and penetrate in through the defensive lines of 5STARS that I think is going to be pretty difficult for them. Of course, without that Thatcher or the Dokkaebi on the board, it's going to be pretty difficult to try and take care of some of this utility that they have in place. And of course, without that Dokkaebi, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to try and clear out this very, very heavy roam presence that we see from 5STARS. And of course, this is something that we saw from them in just the previous map, where instead of having a top floor setup or a roaming setup upstairs, or in an extended setup, they have an extended roam where they are constantly moving. They are very, very active. And they are playing very quick operators for that. So they are bringing the Solus, they are bringing the Thorn, they are bringing the Oryx, they're bringing the Muzzy, they're bringing the Alibi. They are not expecting themselves to stay in one place for too long. They are expecting to just constantly be weaving and moving through. And that could be a potential problem here for Guardians, especially because they don't have any flank watch setup or any dedicated flank watch in any case. They don't have a Gridlock, they don't have a Nomad. It's going to be quite difficult for them to try and prevent this very mobile defense from 5STARS from, doing any damage onto them, especially as they're having to attack onto dining and kitchen first, which is a very very vertical map. So, a very vertical site rather. So them taking, this vertical control might not mean as much because 5 stars are constantly on the move and could be going for a late flank. And now is the time when that does constitute for a late flank, as they've already wasted 2 minutes. Now, of course, it has not all been wasted. But they haven't really gained too much with it. They haven't found a single kill from it yet, but they are taking care of a lot of these defense lines, and they are going for a plant as they found an in, but there goes an impact, and there goes the swing from Zephan as well. Very cleverly played there from the alibi, holding on inside of sight with that impact grenade in pocket, waiting for that plant to go down, and now the diffuser has lost control, or rather they've lost control of the diffuser. 5 stars now have it in their sights. Rush will be going down, but Selberg is still upstairs and could still be causing trouble. They're still trying to push into sight. They do get the push in. Chaos retrieves the diffuser, but of course will be still having to walk into the claws of the defenders. Selberg takes one. Reaper is there with the other. Rush is there with the penultimate one. Breathtaking denies even more the flawless round, but it's reprints from all the way back inside of the site, behind this bomb chassis, to find the final kill, win the round here for 5 stars, put them on the board, and help them take the lead. Now, of course, as I've said quite so repetitively, it's a very defender-sided map. So losing the first round of attack is to be expected, but I do worry about the fashion in which Guardians lost it, where they really didn't seem to be prepared for 5 stars in the way that they were playing. They seem to go for a very default take, where it's like, okay, we're just going to take the top floor, we're going to do a little bit of sledging here and a little bit of sledging there, we're going to toss a couple grenades, and then we're just going to take our Usa with the shield and walk in and get the plant down. And they just weren't expecting 5 stars to have an impact grenade in pocket, for anybody to be on site at that point. It looked like information was very, very much lacking for Guardians to be aware of how mobile 5 stars were, and it seems to still be lacking, as they're still not bringing a dedicated flank wash, which they could still need, because 5 stars is still, or again rather, on the move. We saw them bring basically this exact same lineup, if not the exact same lineup, before on Theme Park, and it played it in the exact same way, where Zephan was constantly moving around, moving through. Selberg at the time was playing Vigil and was being an absolute nuisance to them. Now playing the Muzzy is still going to be very, very mobile. That's what you have to do as Muzzy, and we see him here could just be denying this push that's coming up from the basement up those Astro stairs, but so far they haven't really found each other. They might just be now. He shoots that drone, aware of their push coming up from there. There goes the jump in with the clone. He will shoot that, reveals position again. They shoot up, open that door. There go the Candelas. They're going to be waiting for him, and they get the kill. Very, very important first pick there from Damien onto Selberg. Very good use of utility, and very, very good use of the information. They saw him with the drone. They just kept going, tossed up those Candelas. They knew they had him pinched, and they got that kill. Very, very good and very important opener for them for this round. Zephan, holding inside of 90 corridor, will be the next line of defense for Guardians to face up against. Opens up that bottom floor window inside a bathroom, of course, trying to set himself up for a bit of a run out if he needs to, so that he can run inside of it. Run inside of that window, rather. As Chaos does make his way onto the rappel on that window. And now either Zephan is looking to jump out from below or jumping out from above, but it's Keppa that finds the first pick for this side of 5 stars. Takes down Panda. Gemis will be down, but not out in that frost mat, which of course will be slowing them down even more. Keppa still holding on inside of map room. Will be dividing a lot of this attention from the side of 5 stars. Damien finally managing to pick up his teammate, who is downed in that frost mat. Chaos does take out Zephyr, who I think tried to go for that round, and in the end, Damien finds another one at the Keppa. It's all up to Reprints and Rush to try and salvage something of this round. Zephyr is getting challenge hunted from the study balcony. He will take down that player. 28 seconds to go. Reprints with those smoke babes is trying to find something. Rush now instead of study is trying to defend
Drop the diffuser.
from up there, and Gemis again down in a frost mat on the default plant position. Damien, however, finds Rush and sold down to Reprints,
Covers the bomb diffuser.
and he will get shot down as well by Chaos from the rappel all the way outside after he flashed himself through that opening inside of the vault room. Finds the final kill, finds the round for 5-star, or for Guardians rather, my apologies. They equalize the score count, finally pick up a round on their attacking half, even though it's a different map, and put a little shake in the boots for 5-stars, and it looks like they were very good at reading their defense this time, or maybe it was just a bit of luck of the draw
Defenders, protect
to
your bomb.
find that opening kill onto Selberg and to deny them that mobility that they had before. Is of course it forced Zephyr to be in a bit of a more rigid position on that 90 corridor. It forced I think it was Keppa there on the my playing inside of Aviator Room as well. A bit more rigid than they probably were comfortable with, and it definitely showed. They definitely like to be a little bit more mobile. So a good read there from Guardians, good opening pick, and something that we didn't see them do all that quite often
10 seconds to
in the theme park game,
bomb located.
especially on their attacking half, was
5 seconds.
they weren't there for those refrags. You know, they pick up that opening kill, and then they'd immediately get traded out, and then they'd find nothing. They were never really sticking together. It was always one-man army everywhere. But this time, they were a little bit more stuck together, so they even when Guardians, or rather when 5-stars picked up kills onto their teammates, they were there to pick up those refrags, to pick up those trades, and to ultimately win the round. 5-stars, this time defending the throne, trophy, and statuary room, rather than the aviator and games room. Could be a bit of an issue for Guardians if they do not spot out this pulse. Of course, can see their heartbeats through walls, through floors, can find their position, and can deny them the push. The mirror window, despite Reprince's best efforts, will get opened up. That castle barricade will be keeping him safe here inside of the brick store, especially as that is a hard surface underneath him, so he cannot get naded out from below by the legs of Breathtaking and Damien, or even Panda, as of course they're bringing 3 sets of frag grenades on their attack, and of course that's something that you just have to do on a vertical map like Villa, where those vertical frag grenades could be absolutely crucial. In Rush, finding them out, could be trying to get the kill here as well, trying to get a little bit of help there from Reprints, but of course is unable to find the kill, and it's Chaos instead that finds the first kill onto Zephyr. From the, oh wow, that is a really nice kill there. From the upside down rappel on the window, he finds him through the mirror window. It is Breathtaking to find another one onto Rush. That's the pulse now down, both of the 45 operators off the board. That pulse, I spoke about him early on, very, very crucial, is now down, leaving 5-stars in a 3 versus 5 to try and hold on to this round. Reprints playing inside of trophy room, trying to find anybody coming up those trophy stairs. Selberg is holding a similar angle, and Keppa is all the way inside of brick store trying to find that as well. He will get shut down by Damien, and now they have all the control that they could ever need. They have even more of it. Damien picking up Reprints, who was trying to go for a C4 toss and just was not able to even go over that barricade or over that wall to drop down into the red corridor to save himself. Chaos going Dutch aim rather. Of course, Revival League is very, very colorful in in the nationalities of the participating players. There's somebody from sort of all over the place, all over Europe rather. I don't think we have many players outside of the Europe region. Of course, it's very, very difficult to have somebody from far and away in the world when there's a 100 ping limit. So, if you could play from the US on less than 100 ping, I think you'd probably be fine. But of course, trying to manage time across so many time zones is, of course, going to be very, very, very difficult. And then, of course, having to play on high ping isn't going to be ideal. So that's probably why you don't see too many quote-unquote outsiders in Revival League, but so many players from all nations from Europe, so it's really beautiful to see. But in any case, 5STARS going for another defensive round, trying to hold on to trophy and statuary, not even attempting to go back into Aviator and Games Room. It just really made them sick, the way that they played it and the way that they lost it. They don't want to try it out again. This time, Russian Keppa going back to their origins, back to their roots of a very active roam, rather than trying to do some voodoo magic with the pulse. They're just playing good old-fashioned Muzzy and Elysian to try and get them on the roam. And it looks like they're going to be hunted quite heavily by multiple operators. Rush does see the head of the Nook. He's unable to find the kill. Damien instead gets that first one on to him, but Zephyr on the other side of the map was able to take down Breathtaking, so that is another frag grenade operator off the board, allowing 5STARS a little bit more breathing room. Chaos in the meantime using up a lot of those Habana pellets to try and breach open as many of those surfaces as possible. Damien finding the kill into Keppa, who thought that what he saw was a drone, but instead was just a reflected surface. Oh my goodness, and they're just falling down like dominoes as Selberg goes down as well to Damien. Stefan trying to hold on from this vertical angle through multiple walls to try and find something there. Reaper still on these Maestro cams, now vulnerable to all four of those frag grenades from below. Instead of Astro, of course, could go down to any of them. And there are starting to ram from below. He's going to have to relocate and have to bend in that shield. He's going to have to put himself in a much less favorable position. And of course, as he vacated that spot, he was not able to see Damien coming up those fireplace, or those Astro stairs rather. Zephyr goes down next, and it's all that the Reaper is on quite low HP, and that Alba in hand is not able to do anything. Panda finds him, finds the third round with it. Guardians on an absolute tear here against 5STARS, and this is the Guardians that we are used to seeing on attack. Guardians, very, very strong, very calm and collected in their attacks, and this is exactly why. This is exactly how. They just go in, they get the kills, they get the round wins, and they go home. And it could be another example of that happening here against 5STARS. It didn't quite work out for them on Theme Park. Didn't have too much time to recuperate to get back on track, but it looks like they didn't need that much of it. They just needed to change the scenery. They needed to travel from wherever Theme Park is. I don't really want to name anything because I'm not entirely sure where it is, so I'm just not going to name place. They need to travel from Theme Park, from Disneyland, all the way into Italy, where Villa is. Try and find some success, and it definitely seems to be working for them, as they are bringing that Italian operator of Alibi again, joined by, again, a quite active and mobile roam. This is exactly what we saw from them in the first round that they defended. It was this same exact site. It was the dining kitchen site that they defended quite well. They had this exact same lineup, very, very heavy roam, and they read into the attack out from Guardians perfectly. They had that Alibi downstairs with that impact grenade in pocket. They were able to deny that plane coming out, and Guardians, I don't think they're going to be giving it away quite as freely. Damien here coming out with these Candelas to try and force these roamers away from their positions. Reference drops away from that Astro hold. Shield going down as well behind him. Breathtaking finds the first kill onto Reference, who was not able to go far away, or he actually tried to go back up those stairs. to hopefully find something on the flank, but unfortunately, it was only his dead body that was found there. Instead, allowing Guardians a little bit more free reign. Zephyr inside of library, or I think that's Rush actually, inside of library with that bailiff trying to open up some of those angles. Breath taking a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to really do him any good so far. Rush still sitting inside of Mudroom, trying to hold off any attack coming from there. As we reach the halfway point through the round, they're starting to rain hell from above with that verticality. Of course, the sledge destroying anything that could be considered healing above the bomb site. 5STARS finally finding in as well as Zephyr takes down Panda from a counter vertical angle. He could be fighting another one, unfortunately just misses those shots onto Chaos and is unable to find the kill. Wasting still quite a little bit of time here trying to find or trying to force out these defenders from their position, but it's Kappa that will force Breathtaking out of his position at the bottom of those Astro stairs, and Selberg still sitting pretty inside a basement. It could be the final nail in the coffin here for the side of Guardians. They don't have any hard reach to speak of, and they're just going to have to rely on their gun skill and those Candelas blinding the defenders, which doesn't always happen, to hopefully find a round win here. Zephyr, counter vertical angle, does find a down and does find a kill onto Gemis. Candelas coming in. Damien pushes deep at the site, gets shut down, and Selberg with the final kill into Chaos. Oh my goodness. 5STARS find another round when maybe for a moment it didn't look like it was going to be theirs. Gemis, if he was able to find a kill onto Zephyr from that vertical angle, I don't think that they win that round, as of course then there's no one playing inside of dining room. Selberg was still playing on the basement stairs at that time. Damien could have started going for the plant. They could have had that round, but of course, it's would have, could have, should have, and they unfortunately couldn't.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
So now,
Used by attackers.
5STARS closed the gap a little bit after it was looking a little bit shaky, and very similar to the way that they were playing in the theme park game, where they were also down 3-2. They're looking to try and equalize the score count, put themselves on even playing field as they head off into their defensive or into their attacking half. Now, on theme park, they were able to bounce back at the count of Guardians being unable to win a attacking round. And I spoke at the beginning of the game that 5STARS played Villa before, at the very least on stream. I do believe that Guardians have also played it, but just not on stream. But 5STARS did play it on stream against War Dogs, and as I said, they were down 3-0, and then they just kept winning and won at 7-5. It was a great comeback. It was a crazy story. But that was when they were starting out on attack and went onto defense. Them not being able to find that much success on their defensive half could be spelling trouble for them as they head off into their attacking half, which also wasn't that fruitful for them before whenever they played it. Selberg, pre-play C4, will be trying to find somebody from that vertical attack. Getting pushed again from the basement by Panda and Damien, the same players that were trying to take care of him before and that found him before. This time, he's being a little bit more clever, playing in a different place. Blows that C4, finds nothing with it. Those Candelas are coming out, but they were going into the wrong spot, and Selberg on the swing does find the kill. However, immediately traded out by Damien, by Panda rather, who was there to pick up that kill. And now 5STARS suffering the Guardian's curse of not being there to pick up the refrag of a refrag. Zephyr and Keppa playing inside of site, Rush site adjacent, playing on those red stairs. I'm not sure about Reaper in this position, but I do believe it's also somewhere inside. Actually, it's at the top of the main stairs. Of course, a very crucial position to be holding should Guardians relocate to a study push. So far, so good as far as that is concerned. Halfway point of the round was reached and passed, using some of those impact EMPs to try and deny as much of this utility as possible. Of course, wasting those grenades as well to try and clear out this shield that Rush has set up at the top of these stairs. We saw teams play this before, and we saw it turn out exactly the same way. Gemis going down to Rush. If I am not mistaken, this is the exact same position that we saw them play in open qualifiers very, very long time ago, about a month ago at this point, and it was Rush in that same exact position who was able to find that exact same kill, put a damper on whoever their opponents were at the time. I do not remember at this moment. He manages to escape freely, leaving Guardians with 30 seconds and 3 men to work with to try and find this round. Of course, there's not going to be a frost to down anybody in this game. Those smoke waves will be coming out, however, to slow them down. Those Vulcan canisters deploying as well. Rush chancing here a kill or a death here against Chaos. Found the final kill from that exact angle before Keppa finds Breathtaking, who looks just a little bit too far ahead. It's Rush on that swing that gets the kill onto Chaos, and it's Keppa with the final one onto Panda. 5STARS equalize the man count, or rather the score count, at 3 rounds apiece. Go to the side switch, and now it's party time. Because now we're going to get to see Guardians in their defensive element, and we're going to get to see 5STARS in their attacking element. Now, this is, the elements that we saw from them before on Theme Park in the game that we just watched, or in the map that we just watched.
Use as many bombs as they can.
Guardians were a little bit shaky in some of those defensive rounds. 5STARS were undefeated on their defensive side. This time around, it was 5STARS were shaky on their defensive side, and it was Guardians who were absolutely, or not absolutely, but who were perfect, at least for the 3 runs that they won on their attacking half. So going now, even playing field, Guardians defending, Trophy Century first, 5STARS going for a completely different lineup to what we saw from Guardians, and Guardians likewise going for a completely different lineup than what we saw from 5STARS, and they're doing something that we saw them do before on the Theme Park game, which is, rather than doing a roam collectively, actively, and very mobile, they are taking these positions and sitting there. So you see here, Gem is putting down these ADSs to hold on to Closet for as long as possible. Panda behind him with those my magnets as well to hold on to his position inside a bathroom. Of course, is going to be a massive, massive utility sink. Breathtaking closing down a lot of those areas and a lot of those lines of sight with the castle barricades. And then all Damien has to do is sit behind a shield and protect it. And that is what we saw from Guardians before. It's something that they like to do on their defensive half. They like to just find their positions, sit there, stay there. 5STARS, a lot more mobile, and they're a lot more mobile on their attack as well. They are going for these drones, trying to find as much information as possible, but Celebrate is right there with the follow-up. Keppa has already made his way basically to site, as of course, Guardians did give up half of the map by closing off the site with those castle barricades. Rush is looking to deploy a Candela here on the window, and he will do just that. There goes the Candela, but the grenade was just a little bit too early, does not find the kill, and neither does the Candela. Selberg rather, sees Breathtaking at the bottom of those stairs, deals so much damage. Breathtaking is just a breath away from death. There goes another Candela. Rush by now has rotated far and away. Those vertical angles could be working against him, but it's him instead that finds the kill. Finally, it's Breathtaking immediately traded out by Panda, still sitting pretty inside a bathroom and still uncontested for the most part. Selberg trying to find success on the opposite side of the map. Keppa makes his way inside of the site, at least for a moment, but of course that shield will be putting a damper on that. There go the flashbang. Unable to find the blind or the kill. Still swinging out onto that position. 45 seconds to go. Those smoke babes are coming out. He still has 2 in pocket. He's going to waste so much time with those. And a lot of that utility is getting wasted as well. Selberg finds one through the wall. Damien finds one on the Zephyr. Selberg is now inside of sight. Going to try and find something. Reference all has to do is rotate around to try to get that plant out, but of course he's so far away, they're punching out the glass of those Evil Eyes Panda, finding the kill onto Selberg, and it's Keppa, the next one to go down. It's all down to Reference. He will go down inside of Closet. And unbelievably, Guardians win their first defensive round. That from the moment that Selberg was inside of sight was all 5 stars. All Reaperance had to do was get over to his teammates. Keppa and Selberg basically had site control. They had everything they needed, and they weren't able to do anything with it. A round goes to Guardians,
Defenders,
putting
protect
them
your bombs
back in the lead.
by attackers.
5 stars now trailing and trying to find success on their attacking half. Downstairs to kitchen and dining, Guardians go. It was a site that 5 stars dominated them on. It was a site that they absolutely could not get their foot inside of. Or rather, they did get their feet inside of the site, but they didn't go much further than that. You see Guardians bringing a similar lineup with that pulse, with the echo, with the Womai, with the mute. Of course, it's a similar lineup to the one that we saw from 5 stars in the past, but it was not a lineup that we saw them bring on this site. The one that we saw them bring on this site was very, very roam heavy. Everybody was off site. Everybody was playing a very quick operator so that they could weave and move around as they pleased. Guardians, once again, taking a completely different approach. Playing that mute, trying to deny as much information as possible, coming up 5 stars. Playing, again, not so much a roam, rather than an extended position. They extended the site to upstairs and to Memorial, rather than just trying to roam and trying to weave in and out of gunfights. Holding onto that shield
Attackers
will be
located
Panda
bomb.
for as long as he can, but he's going to get challenged here. For the challenge is going to start to come out from the attackers, of course. Those castle barricades will be slowing them down a little bit. Selberg, not too sure what he's looking for. Maybe a Womai magnet, a Valkyrie camera. I'm not really too sure what he's looking for. Maybe he hears one of those echo drones, and that echo drone at that point could be below or above him or anywhere, and the sound is just so loud it makes you think that it's right next to you. Keppa finds himself on these red stairs. No one's a contestant right now, as the Guardians are all on this northern side of the map, either below or downstairs. They're all just sitting where they are at the moment. Rush trying to maybe go for taking care of this castle barricade with a Gaunt 6, but instead decides, you know what, I'm just going to do a little bit of self-destruction here, try and find something from there, and there goes the Gaunt 6. Won't find anything from the swing here, could find a wall bang, however, onto Damien if he's not careful. Still just droning, try to find as much information as they can. Time dwindling away, however. A minute gone. They have a lot of map control as it stands because Guardians gave away half of the map, and Damien finds the first kill again onto Keppa. The Nomad unable to find any luck so far in this attacking half. Panda still, both of those Echo drones alive and well. We'll be finding these attackers in their attempts to attack the site. Zephan, of course, unable to actually push because of those castle barricades. Selberg having to waste his grenade. Reaperance does find a kill. There goes Selberg as well, finding another. Putting 5 stars here on top. As far as man count goes, Reaperance will be inside the site to try and go for the plant. Panda still is alive and still has an Echo drone to try and deny that plant with, but he doesn't need to because it's Damien that will deny it with the gun. Instead, Panda will find another one as well, and it's all down to Selberg. 1 versus 3. Finds the final kill as Panda, and Guardians take the round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Guardians take that round, put themselves at an even bigger advantage. 5STARS now trailing 2 rounds behind. Still unable to find any success, and that looked like the best round for them to find it. It looked like the best round for them to find a win on their attacking half, and they just weren't able to do that. Even in the best of cases, they weren't able to find that round when they had the man advantage. They had the site presence, but they unfortunately did not have the cover necessary to deny Damien and Panda and Gemmas from going absolutely nuclear on them and finding those kills, finding that round win. Now they're going to have to attack onto Aviator Games. It is a site that they were sort of half and half as far as defending it goes. They won it once, lost it once. They lost it the first time that they tried to defend it. Will Guardians find the same fate when it comes to that site, or are they just going to continue to tear 5STARS up and find another round win here? Selberg and Rush both will be downstairs to try and find those frag grenade kills. Jamis, a huge pickle here as they're droning him out heavily. Somehow was able to escape from the position that he was in inside of the vault room downstairs and could even make his way all the way back down into sight. Rush has information about him. Jamis basically stuck here. Could use that C4 to make himself a rotate and run away, but no, he'll just be sitting here waiting for somebody to push him, waiting for somebody to kill him, or for somebody to swing onto him so that he can maybe get the kill. Prone behind that wall. There goes Selberg trying to go for a wall bang. Will not be finding him as Gemmas really situated himself perfectly, but those drones are coming out still, and they know exactly where he is. He's still somehow alive. Finally, Rush takes him down, but he wasted 90 seconds by sitting there, by just lying there, and those mine magnets will be catching his grenade. Well, or actually, they will catch the Selma charge from reference, so he will not be able to break that wall open just yet. Those frag grenades will not be finding any luck as far as kills go, but Damien will be finding the first kill onto Zephin. Flores just pushing straight in, not really looking left or right. Reference taking a lot of damage from these vertical angles, not really able to push up those main stairs. Rush wasting his final grenade, not able to find anything either. Selberg put both of his to use. They did a little bit of damage with the Damien and Chaos, but unfortunately were not able to find any more than a couple dozen points of HP. But Rush finally finds it in. There goes Selberg with the follow-up with the Damien as well. Panda taking a lot of damage and taking the most damage as he goes down. It's all out to breathtaking set of sight. He will take down one with that Tachanka LMG. The wall will getting open up, and there goes a very far and away two-way cross angle that takes him down. Finally, 5STARS, after it all seemed lost, find a round on their attacking half, close that gap a little bit, put a little bit of shake in the boots of Guardians, and just maybe could be looking at a finisher here in regulation. As of course they prevented Guardians, at least for now, from going into map point, which of course would mean that 5STARS, the only way that they could win would be through overtime, which,
Attackers need to locate
to note,
and defuse bombs.
Guardians would be starting their overtime half, or rather they would be starting overtime on attack, and we saw them be really, really good on the attack. But of course, we also saw 5STARS be really, really good on that defense. So if I had to place, you know, a guess on where 5STARS would be starting out on their defensive overtime round, it would probably be downstairs inside of kitchen and dining, which was their most dominant round win, or site win rather, where Guardians just were not able to do anything against the defense lines of 5STARS. But the attack, or rather the defense lines of Guardians, are going to be another challenge here for 5STARS. Again, playing that castle, playing those positions rather than playing an unnecessary role. which would be the roam role that we saw from 5 stars. It's not really the type of play style the Guardians are going here for. And Breathtaking getting a little bit aggressive here on those Astro Stairs. The first little bit of aggression that we've actually seen from Guardians, apart from the most previous round where we saw Gemis playing on the Pulse inside of Library, getting spotted out, wasting 90 seconds in the process, but ultimately being the first domino to fall and the first issue to lead to the ultimate round loss for the side of Guardians. Selberg already making his way close enough to sight to smell those defenders, but unfortunately not really enough to do much more than that. One of those castle breakers will be getting opened up by that sledgehammer. Flashes are coming out as well from the side of 5 stars. Stelberg trying to open up this other castle barricade as well that leads into trophy room. Of course, a little bit scared to do so as he knows there's going to be a gun waiting for him as soon as he does. Keppa, in a position that we saw him before, will be trying to do something. Oh no, Gemis just nearly getting taken out there by a Flores drone. Still has an ADS in the pocket that he will be placing down just then to deny any more utility from coming out and taking care of him. Damien sitting on 13 kills, the most of anybody in the lobby by a long shot. Nearly double his next teammate, Panda, with 7. Finds another, and there goes the double. Oh, there goes the double, truly, as Selberg finds another kill onto Chaos. Breathtaking with his one onto Rush. Guardians, for a moment, looked like they weren't going to have the man advantage. Do, in fact, retake it. Selberg now pushing his way inside of sight. Are they aware of that as those flashbangs come out? Breathtaking and Damien both on unfavorably low HP to try and win out these gunfights. Reaperance now joins them. Selberg will be trying to go through this wall, but Damien very close to it with that FMG9 finds the kill instead. Keppa trying to rotate, trying to find something through the wall. 20 seconds to go. Reaperance goes down. It's all down to Keppa again in a 1 versus 4. Finds one, makes it a 1 versus 3. And he goes down as well. Damien with the final kill. That's a good point. I've just gotten information from the producer, Haffy, that Guardians have secured themselves at least 1 point in this matchup. Or at the very least in this game. Wait, what? Wait, it's a BO2. Do they not get any points for the previous game? Or the previous map?
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see your point. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Guardians have secured themselves at least 1 point. As far as this map goes, of course, they do not get any points. For the previous map that played on theme parks, of course, 5 stars won it in regulation, but Guardians now being on match point do secure themselves at least 1 point for going into overtime, as of course it's OT points, so you get 3 points if you win in regulation, 2 if you win in overtime, and 1 if you lose in overtime. So Guardians, even if they end up losing this matchup, so even if 5 stars go on an absolute tear, win the next, what would it have to be, 5 rounds in a row, 4 rounds in a row? It would have to be 4 rounds in a row, yes. If they win the next 4 rounds in a row, Guardians still do secure themselves at least 1 point in this matchup. Of course, that will be quite an advantage there for 5 stars, but the game is still long, or it might not just be that long. Guardians could be taking the win here as they are going back downstairs to kitchen and dining, a site the 5 stars managed to get into and start going for the plant, but didn't have the cover necessary to win it. And Guardians, or rather 5 stars, a little bit more aware of the sort of play style the Guardians are going for, playing that IQ very, very cleverly, very immediately going for those Echo drones, taking care of them. But Rush here on the Blitz, in tandem with the Lion from Reference, could be quite an interesting ordeal, especially as Guardians are not bringing a Wamai on board either, who of course would... Wamai, apologies. Warden on board, who of course would minimize the Blitz's effect quite a bit. There goes the jump in from Reaper, and it's getting a little bit of a brave, and sometimes you need to be a little bit brave as he takes down one of those Echo drones, denying a little bit more of that utility from Guardians, and of course denying the plant denial. Ironically enough, Selberg making his way from the basement up those red stairs, and Guardians, I don't know if they're aware of a potential rush or a late rush that could be coming out here from 5STARS as Keppa takes down Damien as well, so any of those magnets will not be coming out. Chaos taking down Reaperance, but there goes Rush with the Blitz inside of sight, takes down one, it's all down to Panda, and it's Keppa, Selberg, and Zephin with the final 3 to put another round on the board for 5STARS. Wow. Chaos with the very sportsman-like good job there on the rush. Couple hearts coming out from 5STARS as well, of course. Guardians recognizing, well, that was very well played. They took care of our Echo drones. They, were taking their sweet time. It was only about halfway through the round when that really started to form. When they really started to form a collective, cohesive push. Once everybody was in the position they needed to be, there go the Lion scans, there goes the rush, or there goes Rush with the rush of the Blitz. And they found what they needed to find. Put themselves just a step away from tying this game, bringing themselves into overtime, and potentially winning it, and taking what would be 5 points from this matchup, which could be huge for them in this matchup. Very early on, again, this is only round 1. There is 7 rounds to play. So there's seasons long, and the playoffs honestly sometimes feel like they're even longer once we get there. Of course, these teams, should they manage to put themselves into the top 2 slots of the Premier League, they will be advancing into the playoffs to play against the top seeds of the Champions League, which is a whole other boat of players and of strategies and play styles that, they're probably not going to be too used to, just because you don't play these people. You play completely different teams. So that could be very, very exciting, and that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking forward to for the entire season. But in any case, for the potentially final round in this matchup, Zephin is starting his attack from the study side. Quite unlikely, actually, to see this coming out from 5STARS, but they've read into the defense of Guardians, and they found the first kill from it as well. It's Breathtaking going down from those vertical angles, I believe. That's the Tachanka gun. Of course, we saw him take down a kill or 2 in the previous round that they had on this site. And of course, this site defense was, or this site attack rather, was the first attacking round that 5STARS actually won. So they could be finding the tying round here and now on the same site where they found the first round win. There goes a frag grenade from below. Rush could be finding a kill here. He unfortunately will not be finding anything, as Chaos has by that point vacated the premises, and Panda is sitting atop that bar, so he will not be vulnerable to any grenades. But Rush is very vulnerable to bullets indeed, as he has a player contesting him all the way from below. Selberg will be on the hunt for that player. I do believe that's Jemis on the pulse, crouching down, definitely giving himself away with sound. Cameras are coming out as well. Pings are coming out, trying to find something. Rush will find Panda, however. The tear is continuing. Selberg will not actually be finding Jemis. I really thought that was going to be a kill there. Zephyr on the other side of the map does find Damien, however, and now it's hold on to Jemis and Chaos to try and salvage this round. Chaos indeed will be finding Rush from the vertical angles. One attacker escapes him, but he's aware of it. Unfortunately, goes down. It's all down to Jemis with about 20 HP all the way downstairs to try and deny the plant from coming down. He's trying to find something with the C4. He's not going to be able to find anything. Zephan is just running around being an absolute nuisance. That diffuser is now down. Gemis is trying to find something, maybe with the UMP-45 from below. He will not be finding anything with that. Those drones are spotting him out, and it's the counter verticality coming out from Reaperments to win that gunfight. But not only that, put 5STARS into overtime. They take the game into overtime. I am very happy that so early on in the season, it's only round 1. It is game 2, or map 2 rather, but it is round 1, and we're already seeing overtime. That really should tell you how closely matched these teams are in all of these leagues, really. But especially in Premier League, which went down to the wire in the final round of the close qualifiers. If you did not watch it, please go and watch it after this matchup, because it was crazy. It was all over the place. It was, as I say, down to the wire. It came down to tiebreaker points and round difference. It was absolutely crazy. And now we get to see these teams battle against each other in the Premier League for the entire season. Of course, I'm not sure how much of that we'll actually be able to broadcast. It depends, how these matches end up getting organized and whether any Champion Leagues matches are happening at the same time. Of course, Champions League will always take priority unless it's a super interesting game that you cannot miss. But of course, we're gonna have to see about that. So I don't know how much Premier League we'll get to see, but this really puts a smile on my face to know that so early on we're already seeing overtimes and we're already seeing teams battle each other so heavily. But here we go, first round of overtime, and I did call it. Did I not call it? I called it. 5STARS are going back downstairs into kitchen and dining. However, this time, bringing a completely different lineup. Bringing a Kapkan, bringing a Frost, bringing the Pulse, bringing the Valkyrie, and the Mute. It does not spell Rome in the slightest. Maybe from Kepa the Valkyrie, and maybe from the Mute, or maybe even Reaperments with the Frost, but not really something that you see all that often. But those Kapkan traps could be quite a bit of trouble. Damien wasting a lot of those, what are they called? Candelas. Damien will find the first kill into Kepa. C4 coming out from below from Rush will find only a sliver of HP from Damien, but not really enough to deny anything. And of course, as Chaos is bringing that IQ, they will be spotting out a lot of those Kapkan traps as well, so they will be aware of that. Not only that, but Rush could be getting spotted from above or through walls. Of course, IQ is a very, very good counter to Pulse, so she could be quite a bit of trouble, but instead it will be Rush that will be trouble to Gemis the Sledge, and that is a very crucial operator that they did not want to lose. Of course, they still have a little bit of verticality in pocket with those breach charges from Chaos, but of course, Sledge is just so much more advanced and so much better at actually achieving a lot of that vertical destruction. They'll be finding a little bit of that and dwindling down. They still have a minute. Not a lot of time to still set up and go for an execute, but of course, in order to do so, they're going to have to hurry up, and it's Zephan that will find the next kill onto Breathtake with a C4. Undoubtedly, those Valkyrie gamers giving away a little bit of their position as well. Selberg on the flank could be finding some success as well. We've seen him do this before. That was basically all he did all theme park, and it's Rush. The bottom of the shield, the Talon 8 shield, takes down Panda. The diffuser again in control of 5STARS. Selberg finding Damien, who he wasn't even shooting at, and finds the player that he was shooting at. It's Chaos to go down as well. They lined up so terribly there, giving him the kill, giving 5STARS the round. Guardians have secured themselves at least 1 point in this matchup, or in this map rather. In this matchup as well, considering that they did not win at minimum 6 rounds in the previous. Well, I guess it wouldn't have to be a minimum of 6, but they didn't. No, it would be. What am I what am I saying? What am I actually saying? It would be a minimum of 6 rounds. They didn't win a minimum of 6 rounds in the previous map,
Attackers need to locate
so they did
and
not
defuse
get a
bombs.
point. They secured themselves at least 1 here, but 5 Stars could be going away with the other 2. Guardians going for defense again. This trophy statue room proved to be quite fruitful for them. 5 Stars really weren't able to penetrate into it all that well, except for that one time that they did. So, Guardians now at a bit of a pickle, as both halves actually, interestingly enough, ended being 3-3, and Guardians ended up taking the shorter end of the stick there, considering that they lost every single set that they went to at least once, including this one. So 5 Stars, if they manage to win it again, could just be taking the match here, or Guardians could be, going for a comeback, could be winning it again. We've seen them win this site, so it wouldn't actually even be that surprising. But in any case, slowly making their way up to the roof. Selberg and Rush going from below. This time there will be no pushback coming up from Guardians. We've seen them give them pushback with a Muzzy and a Legion playing down there before. This time, they're just letting them have free reign of the below area. Having some of those pre-shots or pre-created vertical angles could be catching somebody. That grenade will not be catching anybody. Does quite a lot of damage at the Gemmas, but not enough to take him down just yet. Minute gone by, they're still raining terror from below. The rest of their teammates trying to bounce this from those windows and trying to find out as much information as possible. We see those drones coming out, spotting out those shields and spotting out where these frag grenades need to come out. Rash misses it, but just a little bit. Shield stays in place. Panda making even more of those vertical angles to try and deny even more of that attack coming up from below. Stelberg, somewhat of a construction man himself, creates himself an angle when he couldn't find one. Finally takes care of that shield. 75 seconds to go now as they put quite a dent into the defense lines of Guardians, but still unable to really find themselves an entrance. Selberg going from below to finally upstairs to try and deal with these castle barricades that are going to be so difficult. Reaper finds the first kill into Gemis. There goes Kappa with another one to Damien. And now 3 versus 5 for the side of Guardians for potentially the final round of this matchup. Panda denies the Flawless, drops the diffuser as well as he takes down Reaperance. Any more hard breaching coming out from the Ace will not be happening. Selberg still trying to deal with those evil eyes as well, as Chaos is still alive and will be controlling those evil eyes should a plant be attempted. Zephan has retrieved the diffuser. Selberg on this trophy door trying to push in, but he's getting challenged onto from both Astro and the site. Breathtaking with the swing onto the stairs takes one. Kappa and Zephan take a couple of their own. Breathtaking finds one, but he's not able to find anyone else. That plant will be going down. 1 versus 2 for Breathtaking. We saw him in this exact same position on Theme Park before. He won it. Can he win it again? One player jumps out the window. He finds the diffuser. He won it before by sticking it. Can he stick it again? Zephan is there to find the kill. 5 stars. It's GG's in chat. 5 stars. Take the round. Take the map. And take the match in quite a considerably confident fashion. They take 5 points from this matchup. Leave Guardians to take only the final one. An unbelievable effort from 5 stars to win that round, to win that game. Yeah, just wow. What a beautiful, beautiful game that was. Unfortunately, Guardians just weren't able to really penetrate in through the beautiful gamemanship that we saw coming out from 5STARS. They won 2 games tonight, and I'm sure that they're going to win more come the future. I think for this one, this is pretty difficult. Last time it was pretty obvious it was Selberg. This time it's a little bit harder to actually crown the MVP. I think I'll give it to Rush for this one. There was a lot of really good utility coming up from him. A lot of good droning, a lot of good kills as well, a lot of good retakes. Very, very good job. Not to say that the rest of the team didn't do a good job. Obviously, they did. That's why they won. Uh, but yeah, great effort there from Guardians. They just weren't able to pick up the round. They find themselves with at least a point, which could also put themselves a little bit further up in the standings than they might think, as there could be teams that are still yet to play throughout this round that could find themselves taking no points, losing both of the games in the best of 2, and putting themselves quite lower on the leaderboard. But of course, it's only the beginning of the season, so still so many more games to play. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. We will be on tomorrow. What? I literally said MVP Rush. Are you deaf? Dude, oh my goodness. That's just oh my goodness. Wow, we really sound professional right now. Thanks, Happy. You did such a great job there listening to me rave on about how good of a job Rush did. Anyway, Happy's clearly not a fan of Rush. He was like, no, give me a different MVP. No, that's not what happened. He just didn't hear it. Anyway, yeah, thank you everybody for watching. We will be on tomorrow, and tomorrow will be quite an exciting game. It will be Champions League for the first time, Season 2. It will be Champions League. It will be Arctic Wolves going up against Lumina Gaming. An absolute banger of a match. I am sure it is Lumina who were top of the leaderboard last season in the Champions League, absolutely tearing through everybody, and then unfortunately lost a couple teammates just before the playoffs. Still stuck it out through like halfway the playoffs anyway, and they have remedied quite a lot of the parts that they lost in the players that they had to drop, unfortunately. And Arctic Wolves, of course, the winners of last season. So it's all to play for. Arctic Wolves defending their title. If they lose any games, they will be bullied. I'm joking, but maybe they will be. Who knows? The people can be ruthless. And Lumina on potentially a comeback. It's going to be an interesting game no matter what. And I think it will be me and Sons here to guide you through that one. At least I hope he's going to be here. I'm definitely going to be here. But in any case, that will be going on tomorrow at, I believe, 8 p.m. Central European Eastern Time. Central European Eastern. What does that even mean? Central European Summertime. Oh my god, my brain is fried from these 2 games. But definitely make sure to tune into that one. Thank you for watching this one. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.
To breathe the light, living in the dark. Take your time, we'll meet again. Just speak your truth, hoping it's a lie. You can't sleep, so why not give up? Let me tell you a secret.